Silent hollow, peaceful, quiet, nestled between hills, a stream flowing through it. People here, they knew peace. They knew their neighbors. Life was simple, predictable. Old man Hemlock often sat on his porch watching the sunset. He'd lived here all his life. Never a worry, never a fear, just the rhythm of nature, the changing seasons, the whisper of the wind. But something was changing. A darkness crept into Silent Hollow, a darkness that chilled the very bone. It started subtly. At first it was almost unnoticeable, like a faint breeze that barely rustles the leaves. But soon the signs became more apparent, small things, unexplained, animals acting strangely. Birds stopped singing. The usual chirping and fluttering of wings were replaced by an eerie silence, their eyes full of fear. It was as if they could sense something that we couldn't. A presence, a shadow lurking just beyond the edge of our perception. Dogs wouldn't leave their porches, whining at something unseen. They huddled close to the ground, ears flat, tails tucked, as if trying to make themselves as small as possible. Then came the whispers. People woke in the night, startled from their sleep by a sense of unease. The air felt heavy, charged with an unspoken tension, a feeling of being watched, eyes that seemed to follow you even when you were alone. It was as if the very shadows had come alive, observing our every move. Voices, just out of earshot, whispering their names. Soft, sibilant sounds that sent shivers down the spine. They were always just beyond the edge of understanding, like a half-remembered dream. But when they looked, there was no one there. The whispers would fade, leaving only the oppressive silence in their wake. The villagers, they started talking, sharing worried glances. Something wasn't right. But what? They gathered in small groups, whispering amongst themselves, trying to make sense of the strange occurrences.
Did you hear that last night? It was like a voice calling out from the darkness. It was like someone was calling my name, but when I looked, there was no one there. Just the empty night.
I thought it was just me, but now, hearing you say it, I know I'm not alone. We're all hearing it. But no, I felt it too. Something's not right. It's like the very air is whispering secrets. Secrets that we were never meant to hear.
I'm scared. This isn't normal. It's like we're being haunted by something we can't see. I don't like this at all. The village feels different, like it's holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. And whatever it is, I don't think it's good.
Then it happened. The night the lights danced. A cold, clear night. The air was crisp and the village was quiet, with only the occasional hoot of an owl breaking the silence. Stars bright in the sky. They twinkled like diamonds scattered across a velvet blanket, casting a gentle glow over the sleeping village. Suddenly the sky erupted in color, lights swirling, dancing. It was as if the heavens had decided to put on a show, a spectacle of light and motion that no one had ever seen before. Red, green, blue. The colors blended and separated, creating patterns that mesmerized anyone who looked up. People ran out of their homes, pointing at the sky, whispering. The village was alive with excitement and fear as everyone tried to make sense of the phenomenon. No one had ever seen anything like it. It was beautiful but terrifying. The lights danced with an otherworldly grace, casting eerie shadows and illuminating the night in a way that felt both magical and ominous. Old man Hemlock, he watched from his porch. His weathered face reflected the lights, his eyes filled with a mixture of wonder and dread, his eyes wide with fear. This was not nature. This was something else, something unknown. He had lived through many winters, seen many strange things, but nothing like this.
Look at that! What is happening? The villagers' voices were filled with a mix of awe and panic as they tried to understand the spectacle unfolding above them.
I've never seen anything like this. It's not right. The fear in their voices was palpable as they wondered if this was a sign, a warning, or something far more sinister.
The lights vanished as quickly as they came. One moment the village was bathed in a warm, comforting glow, and the next it was plunged into an abyss of darkness. The sudden shift was jarring, leaving the villagers disoriented and uneasy, leaving a silence that was heavier than before. It was as if the very air had thickened, pressing down on everything and everyone. The usual sounds of the village, the chatter, the footsteps, the distant laughter, were all swallowed by this oppressive quiet. Then the fog rolled in, thick, unnatural. It crept through the streets, curling around buildings and seeping into every nook and cranny. It was unlike any fog the villagers had ever seen, dense and almost alive, moving with a purpose. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face. The fog was so dense that it swallowed everything in its path. People stayed indoors, peering out of their windows with a mix of curiosity and fear. They whispered among themselves, sharing stories of what they thought might be lurking in the mist, afraid of what lurked in the fog. Shadows moved within it, dark, shifting shapes that seemed to dance just out of sight. Every now and then a figure would appear, only to vanish moments later, leaving the villagers questioning their own eyes. Shapes that weren't quite human. Whispers followed them, cold, disembodied voices that sent shivers down the spine. The whispers spoke of things long forgotten, secrets buried deep within the village's history. They were voices of the past, echoing through the present. Fear took root in Silent Hollow. The once bustling village was now a place of dread. Every creak, every rustle, every shadow was a potential threat. The villagers huddled together, seeking comfort in numbers, but the fear was palpable, hanging in the air like the fog itself. The once peaceful village, now shrouded in fear and uncertainty. The streets that were once filled with life were now deserted, the only movement coming from the swirling fog. The village had become a ghost town, its inhabitants prisoners in their own homes.
Stay inside, everyone! The village elder's voice rang out, a beacon of authority in the chaos. He had seen many things in his time, but nothing like this. His words were a command, but also a plea, urging the villagers to stay safe. It's not safe out there. The fog is hiding something dangerous. The elder's words echoed in the minds of the villagers, reinforcing their decision to stay indoors. They bolted their doors and windows, hoping that the barriers would keep whatever was out there at bay.
I saw something in the fog. It wasn't human. The young man's voice trembled as he spoke, his eyes wide with fear. He had ventured out, hoping to find answers, but what he saw only raised more questions. The figure he saw was tall, with elongated limbs and glowing eyes that pierced through the fog.
We need to protect the village. The blacksmith's voice was firm, his resolve unshaken. He had always been the protector, the one who stood up when others faltered. He gathered the villagers, arming them with whatever they could find, pitchforks, hammers, anything that could be used as a weapon. Whatever this is, we can't let it take over. The villagers nodded in agreement, their fear turning into determination. They would stand together, facing the unknown threat head-on. The fog might have brought shadows and whispers, but it also brought out the strength and unity of Silent Hollow.
The fog lingered for days.
Then, as suddenly as it came, it vanished.
But the anomalies continued.
The earth began to tremble.
Small tremors at first.
Then stronger ones.
The river, the lifeblood of Silent Hollow, stopped flowing. The water vanished, the riverbed dry and cracked, as if the earth itself was thirsty.
And then the whispers grew louder.
Closer.
As if they were right outside your window. Fear was a living thing now. It gripped the hearts of the villagers. They stopped gathering, stopped talking to each other. They locked their doors, covered their windows.
The children, they cried all the time, scared of the dark, scared of the whispers, scared of what was happening to their once peaceful home.
Old Man Hemlock, he tried to reassure them, told them it was just a passing phase. But even he couldn't hide the fear in his own eyes.
Some villagers tried to leave, packed their bags, tried to drive away, but the roads they led back to Silent Hollow. No matter which way they turned, they were trapped.
Others they searched for answers. Old books, local legends, anything that could explain the strange happenings.
Whispers of ancient rituals, of a power that slept beneath the earth. But the more they learned, the less they understood. The mystery deepened. The fear grew stronger.
The whispers, they spoke of ancient beings, of things forgotten, things best left undisturbed. They spoke of a pact broken and a price to be paid.
Some villagers, they started to listen to the whispers. Their eyes glazed over, their voices flat, repeating the whispers, warning others. Or were they threats?
The line between reality and nightmare blurred. Silent Hollow was lost in a sea of fear and uncertainty.
What happened to Silent Hollow? No one knows for sure. The village is still there, nestled between the hills, but the river remains dry. The earth silent. Some say the villagers left, driven mad by the whispers. Others say they're still there, trapped, whispering along with the ancient ones. The truth? It remains hidden, lost in the fog of fear and the whispers of the unknown. Silent Hollow stands as a warning, a reminder that some mysteries are best left unsolved.